Hi, I'm Jelena.
And I'm David Robson.
I'm Jelena Vesic.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
What are we talking about today?
We're going to do, well, this is the way I pitched it to you.
Okay.
We're going to do hip openers to prepare for Lotus.
Okay.
But what I really want to do is just tell you a bunch of my favorite hip openers.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can kind of say it's for Lotus, but I just want to show you stuff that I like to do.
But does that mean that you're going to do it, not me?
No, I'm going to describe it, teach it to you, and you're going to do it.
You're going to teach it to me.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Thing is, Jelena doesn't really like to do anything outside of the practice in the sense of drills or extra stretches or anything like that.
No, I don't.
But I love to do all of those things.
Oh my God, David will waste like an hour before he even starts his practice, just like doing all kinds of crazy things on the mat.
Waste. I'm not wasting. I'm exploring. I go into a bit of a trance. It's like and you chase sensation through the body and tightness.
I just prefer to walk the dogs in the forest.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are.
Before we go on, make sure you comment and let us know how you like these little chit-chats that happened. Subscribe to our channel and maybe share.
Yep. Probably should share it.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Okay, so let's say there's 4 directions that we want to open up the hip. Okay. 4 different directions that we could open the hip.
I literally didn't sign up for this.
No, I just waited until we started. So we've got the front.
Okay.
Yeah, hip extension, hip extenders. We've got the back of the hip. What would that be? Hip flexion, stretching the bum, things like that. And then we've got the adductors, like the inner thighs, what squeezes in, and then the abductors, the outsides. Mm-hmm. And I guess kind of tied into those, we've got the rotators, right? And the back outside. All right, I can tell Jelena's so not into this already. So let's talk about full Lotus. Okay, what are we doing in full Lotus? We have a tutorial on this too. External rotation, abduction, deeper external rotation, a little bit of adduction to bring the leg in, and then the same thing on the other side. So mainly it's the external rotation that usually limits people, but it can also be abductors, like it can be the inside of the hips that are showing up. How do we know abductors are playing a role? Try something like Baddha Konasana. What happens when you get into Baddha Konasana? This shape here with the heels together in front of your hips, close to your pubic bone. Your knees, if they're way up in the air, chances are something, maybe it's the inside of your hips, is holding the femurs, the thigh bones in the hip, not letting them relax and drop. So this pose, Baddha Konasana, can actually be a great way to start to address that work, opening up the hips, the inside of the hips. But it can be hard to kind of to get in, to sort of push into this.
Yeah, you can feel a lot of tension and you can feel the whole body starts to go kind of rigid. And just for fun, here's something for you to be proactive. Read about the connection between your jaws, so research it a little bit, between your jaw and the tightness of the hips, which some of you, if you're sitting and doing this with us now, and if this is a spot that's really tough for you, you might notice that you are clenching your jaw, that there is tension being created. So read about that. It's super fascinating.
What's a So if you're doing, if you want to start to open up your hips and you want to work on Baddha Konasana particularly, and you look like this, what we would recommend is jamming something under your knees, like a pillow or a pet, or
oh yeah, you can put like if Goku and Kani were here.
could put them underneath. Yeah. And then and letting those support your knees so that your thighs can relax a little bit, because there's this funny sensation when you're doing this pose that almost feels like you're holding some of the tension.
Yeah.
You know?
You're holding the tension and you're holding the breath. Like you can really feel it. Like even me demonstrating it and having to hold it up here, like there's like a resistance coming up that I can't let go of. Like I can't just relax because it doesn't feel supported.
So let's look at and you might want to do this against the wall too, just so that you can actually focus the work down into the hips. Otherwise, you start to get tired and kind of round out of it. So what's another way that we can start to work on this inside line here? Well, we could
This is a David show now.
Yeah, we could do something like this, where we're going to bend one knee and stretch the other leg out to the side here, like that. Really simple. And then you can drop the shoulder towards the inside of the knee. Yeah, starting to find it. You could even stretch this top arm over and maybe catch the foot. Oh, yeah, do something like this, Good, Jelena. That's it. That's a nice stretch, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's quite gentle. I mean, I don't do this so much in my own
I think
practice.
this is quite deep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like for me, it's all
you feel
here.
It on that side? Well, that's not what we're looking for so much. Okay. What I would recommend then is if you can get a little more active with it and lift your bum right up off the floor with the foot out, you can really get into the inside of the hips, and you can kind of experiment here, doing different work.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to demonstrate what you just demonstrated? Yeah. Why?
I don't know,
this is the only way you can get me to do things.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Here.
You feel the inside of the hip more?
Yeah. Now I feel it on the. I have to let myself come onto the ball of the foot here, and then I can start to feel.
What if you make your back a little straighter? Can you get into the hip a bit more that way?
Yeah.
And then more of a posterior tilt with the hips.
Nothing.
No?
No.
Okay, forget it then. All right. All right, and then I'm building up here. This is my favorite way to get into the inside of the hips is like it's called frog pose, but it's not Ashtanga's frog pose, Bakasana. So do you know this one?
How do you want me to do it? Like this?
Yeah, maybe do it sideways so the camera can see. Yeah. So the way that Jelena set up first was better because both of her knees would be on the mat, but you can't see it. So I want her to do it the way that's bad for her, but good for you. So this way, you can also do this with your feet against the wall. We want to make sure that the heels are behind the knees, and then more or less the hips are between the knees. So we've got this right angle between the shin and the knee here. And then you can rest on your forearms, or you can straighten your arms and do more like an upward dog. But you're letting the weight sink down into the inside of the hips. And this is a fairly confrontational way to get into the inside of your hips. And so I really enjoy this stretch here. And you can change where you're feeling it. If you bring your hips a little bit forward, you can probably drop a little bit deeper in there. Yep. Or you can move back. It's going to lift you up a little bit, but you can get right into the inner hip. What do you think of that, Jelena?
I like this one, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to spend a lot of time in this.
Did you?
As a dancer.
Oh.
We would lie on the floor like that to warm up and open up, which is like an interesting thing. And I've mentioned this to you before, but because I've been so conditioned to work in the hips and keep opening the hips as a dancer, I really enjoy the sensations of the hip opening. Like I don't, that kind of discomfort is like, I enjoy it. But the discomfort of something like back bending, I can't stand it. Like I will do everything possible to get out of it. So it's interesting how we get used to certain sensations of opening parts of the bodies, and how some, even though they're intense, we enjoy, and then that same intensity applied somewhere else in the body, we don't enjoy.
Preferences.
Yeah.
Which is why you should follow a structure in your practice.
Yeah.
Right? And not do this kind of weird stretching thing. But anyway, so let's
Because if I could just sit like this for an hour instead of my whole practice, I probably...
In the Bekasana type.
Like what we just did now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I can put up with that.
But there is a bit of a back bend happening there.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways.
Okay. So let's talk about the rotators. So external rotators. We always offer this as an option if you can't do a half lotus. We do flamingo pose. So you make a 4 shape with your leg, with your ankle just outside and above the opposite knee, flexing the foot. And then as you flex the hip, as you go into a forward bend, you're basically stretching the back of the hip. And this is really good for training your hip to go into external rotation. And this is a fairly moderate stretch here. You can deepen it by bringing the shin closer more actively like this. So you can see Jelena bends the knee, brings the foot, and then brings the chest towards the calf. That can get pretty deep. Or she can go even deeper in by lifting the opposite hip. So she rolls down to the outside of that bent leg hip of the flamingo hip, and can put a lot of pressure into the hip that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nice one.
It is. I like this one.
You can apply kind of the same technique that Jelena was talking about in Baddha Konasana, softening the jaw. And then, this one, which is basically doing the same stretch on both sides. I hear it called all sorts of different things. I like the, what do they call it? Firewood? Stacked firewood or something like that.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
So it's just doing the same thing, but you do it on both sides. And when you do this, it's very important that you get the lines right. So basically you just want the shins perfectly lined up on top of each other. There's a little divot where in your foot that fits onto the inside of the knee on both sides.
And I know when you've shown this before to people, obviously my hips are open, but it's really normal.
Yeah, usually people are here.
The knee is like this. If you are one of those people and you're sitting and doing this with us, if the knee is up here, you're not doing it wrong. It's just, again, addressing the tightness.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, though. Like, let's talk about where people might be, right? So what if you're here? What if your knee is way up? Put your hands behind you. Hold the posterior tilt. So roll back a little bit on your sit bones, and then try to hold that posterior tilt, but now roll forward on your sits bones. So don't arch your back. Stay a little bit round, but then shift your weight forward on your sits bones, and you can start to feel that you're levering the hip open. Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, it gets easy, and as your hip relaxes, it lets the thigh drop down.
Yeah, and don't ever push on your knee, like not in this pose or in Baddha Konasana. Don't push down. Just let the gravity do its thing and let your body change in time and allow for that to happen without any kind of force. Because again, the force might be all, your knee might take all the force.
Like you're using the strength of your hip and torquing your knee.
Yeah, so even though it might seem like you're getting closer towards the floor, it might not be coming from a right place. It's not coming often because the hip is opening up and relaxing, but because you're doing funny things to your knee. Right?
Yeah. Let me show you.
What more?
Yeah, we did. We did the inside line. We did the outside now. So, and maybe the back as well.
Okay.
So let's do, we'll finish with a hip extension.
Okay.
Something pretty easy. So upward dog, any back bend that, is opening up the front line is going to
So what am I doing?
stretch the hips, go into like a upward facing dog type position. But actually, yeah, upward dog is good. So pretty simple. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you can do upward dog more or less. Feet about hip width apart. And then let your hips sink down just a little bit lower maybe than you would usually in upward dog. And then try to keep your feet pointing straight back. So don't let them change. Turn to look over your right shoulder and try to see your right foot. And at the same time, bring your right hip forward and down. Can you feel that?
Got it. I'm not a very supportive good model for this.
And then same thing. Try to drop your hips down towards the floor more and then look over the other shoulder, see the foot. So you got to stretch it. You want me to show you? Can you feel it?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me. So I get into upward facing dog again. I let my hips sink a little bit more towards the floor. And then as I look back over the shoulder, so I'm looking over my left shoulder towards my left foot, but I'm not going to, change the feet. And then I'm going to drop the right hip down towards the floor. And there's a very deep, nice stretch that you can get in the front of the right hip here. And then same thing. Turn, I drop the left hip as I look over my right shoulder. Jelena's giving me funny looks, isn't she?
I'm practicing being quiet. Yeah.
Take my word for it. It's a great stretch.
You know which stretch I like?
Show us.
Like the stretch that runners do sometimes.
Like what? The lunge?
Yeah, but standing.
Oh, just holding your foot?
Holding the foot.
Uh-huh.
And then figuring out how much back to move my knee. And then I can feel the stretch come right in the front.
So you can do that kneeling too.
Or kneeling, yeah.
It's trickier though. But here, holding the foot. This is nice because it really gets into your quadriceps, which basically, the thigh muscles, the front line, has to open before you can really get into the hip too. So I feel this quite a bit. If you can even turn your hand, and then you can go quite deep into it.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll push my toes back like I'm flexing the foot to deepen
the stretch.
And I do it very casually. Sometimes I'll do it while we're working. Mm-hmm. I'll stretch that way. So I guess I do stretch out a little bit here and there.
It's great to open up the front of the hip. Eventually.
Now Dave is showing off. All right. Good for you, David.
Yep.
Somehow you did this video that I would have never agreed to.
I think this might be one of our worst tutorials ever. What do you think?
Actually, I think people might like it.
Yeah?
Well, because people are always asking us to demonstrate or to suggest things outside of the practice.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of individuals that are like you, that like that extra work and chasing of the sensations throughout the body. So, I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And if you know some good hip openers, then tell us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe, like, share.
Share, comment.
Bye.